Thinking about buying an ultrabook, something like a Dell XPS 13, but you won't know if it's any good before you part with £1,200, I bet. Let's do an honest review. This is the Dell XPS 9310. I'm Simon Park, I'm a IT consultant up in North Yorkshire in England. I'm going to take you through the features of this, which means you might want to give it some consideration, the features which means you might want to think twice about it, and the one feature which means I won't be keeping this as my long-term device for the foreseeable future. First of all, let's talk about the good stuff. It's small, it's compact, it's lightweight, and it slots into a bag which is designed for an iPad. That means I don't need to carry around a clunky bag anymore. I can easily just use this. The robustness of it is great. It's covered in this aluminium. If you've had your hands on a cheap Lenovo of late, or a Dell Vostro, for example, they bend in the middle, they flex, they just don't feel like they're going to see through the stand the test of time. This is the opposite. It feels like you could drop it. I know it will survive one drop. I've already done it. The screen can put some people off at 13.3 inches. The truth of the matter is, use it for long enough, you won't even notice it. It's clean, it's crisp. I stream video on it. I use it on a regular basis. It's very good, as are the speakers. Now, I know you're going to use it in a hotel, you're going to use it on a plane, you're going to use it on a train. That's the reason why we buy these after all. You're going to put your Bluetooth earbuds in. You won't care about the speakers. But every now and again, my kids like to crowd around. We'll watch an episode of Bluey. It's absolutely great. As for the spec, this is the i5 11th gen. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the person who had it before me decided to upgrade it to 500 gigabytes of storage. Now, those are the good bits. There is some bad parts, and first of all is the opening of it. They've taken away the little catch that we've always had at the front, which means opening this is like watching a toddler pushing the star into the square of a Fisher-Price bus. The best way I can tell you to do it is catch an edge on the sides, and there you go. And you see these two little dots? That's the facial recognition that you've had on your iPhone for years, and it's worked beautifully. It doesn't matter. With this, I'm either too close, I'm too far away, it's at a funny angle, or it doesn't like my fat face. Whichever one it is, I have to put my pin in at least 60% of the time. I do not like that. And then there's the heat. Oh my God. Forget the cost of living crisis, forget your weighted blankets, turn your heating off. Put this on your knee, do some work for an hour, you will not need any more heat. In fact, your knees are going to go red. These little fins at the bottom, you can cook a steak on those if you want. And then there's the really infuriating thing. The reason why I am about to destroy this device. Up here in this corner is where backspace has lived for eons. Since the dawn of time, or the dawn of computing, backspace has been there. The amount of times that I'm typing away and all of a sudden I switch my device off because I hit the power button. I would like to meet the person who did that. There is a special place in hell reserved for that person. But that's not the worst thing. Dell, in their wisdom, decided that when you buy this laptop, you can choose it with 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now, I know you're going to say 8 gigabytes of RAM is absolutely fine for pretty much everyone. You can stream video, you can do all of your office applications, you can do pretty much everything. But if you've got bad habits like I do, where we keep 32 tabs open in Chrome, or we want to keep 12 spreadsheets running at the same time, or we want to half write some emails, hold on to them to calm down for the next day, it's not enough. You need 16 gigs. So when this came in, the first thing I did was I went on the Dell website to buy the extra 8 gig of RAM to discover you can't. It's soldered onto the board, and that's your lot. So unless you buy it with 16 gigs, at the point of purchase, you're not going to be able to upgrade it. And that means that as time goes on, and bearing in mind it's a £1,200 device, you're not going to be able to give yourself that little bit of extra wiggle room that a lot of people like to get. That's the reason I won't be holding on to this for the long run. It's still a very good device. I'm still enjoying using it, but I will be going back to something more conventional soon. You have a great evening now. Speak soon.